she's saying, look, I shouldn't have to resign, and I'm not going to do something that I feel would violate my relationship with God, and so I'm not going to do it. Well, we're going to throw you in jail. Okay, good. My conscience is clear. I'm still in good standing with the Lord, and that's what she's doing. I think that this is something that I would have done it different, but she wants to stand on that. I'll stand with her. I'm on her side.
Well, Huckabee said he'd go to jail for her.
Yeah, Huckabee. That's another story altogether. Because Huckabee held a rally in her quote-unquote honor.
Yeah, well, and when she got out, and there was like 3,000 people that showed up.
Ted Cruz shows up to speak at it. Huckabee says, no, this is my political opportunity.
He wouldn't let Ted Cruz?
He wouldn't let Ted Cruz speak. This is my rally. This is my political event. This is my chance to get in front of the cameras. You go home.
Oh, jeez.
And Mike Huckabee said as much during subsequent interviews.
Doesn't that kind of...
It reeks.
I mean, yeah.
It reeks. Of course, now Ted Cruz showing up to a Huckabee event to give a speech, that, you know.
Was it a Huckabee event, or was it, well, even still.
The Huckabee campaign's claiming it was their event.
Yeah, but that's just wrong.
It is wrong.
He's dropped a couple of pegs in my eyes after that.
But you take, Kentucky. Go back to Kentucky. Same-sex marriage licenses. Now, the thing is, you do not have to apply for a marriage license in your county of residence. You can go over to the next county and apply.
So a lot of people are doing that just to stoke the fire. Yeah,
I mean, we saw this. It's amazing how many gay couples were ready to get married the day that the Supreme Court, I mean, I've officiated weddings before, and these things take months to plan, right? And you got to have the right date and everything. The day that the Supreme Court handed down the ruling, gay couples just came out of the woodworks everywhere. We've got to get married today. We've got to have the license today. And you got this poor county clerk over in Smith County, Texas, saying, "Well, I don't have the paperwork on me yet. I got to get the updated forms." Lawsuit gets filed.
Are you kidding?
Yeah. No, I'm not kidding. I'm serious. Now, Hood County, the clerk up in Hood County is like, what do I do? Lawsuit gets filed. All right?
Because they don't have the proper paperwork.
Well, in Hood County, she was going to exercise her religious freedom to not issue the license. She was directed that she could do that by the Attorney General.
Yeah, that was kind
who
of
has since gotten indicted on other charges and is nowhere to be found. But anyway, the day that a ruling was handed down, gay couples came out of the woodworks all over America demanding their marriage licenses. And any county clerk that wasn't ready to issue it that day had a lawsuit filed against them. And this is what's happening in Kentucky. She didn't back down like a lot of the other clerks across the nation did. She says, I'm going to stand up and I'm going to do what I think is right in this situation. If you don't like it, you can go to the next county over. Mm-hmm. But they're still going to her to force her.
Yeah, they're stoking the fire.
Why is that?
I don't know.
Why, if you open up the phone book, you're a gay couple. You open up the phone book. We're going to have us a gay wedding. All right? And we need a photographer for our gay wedding.
Mm-hmm. Don't look for the one that has the little fish in the bottom corner of their ad.
Let's get that one. If they won't do it, we'll sue them.
Yeah.
Okay, now. Oh, look. It's God's Children Bakery. Let's see if they, it's...
I know.
It's
Why?
stuff like this.
Why?
And
because it's not enough.
It's a concerted... Well, the thing is you have a group that demands that people not only allow them to live their lifestyle, but you have a group that demands that everybody accept
Agrees
it,
with
legitimize it, and participate in it to some extent, whether it's taking pictures at a wedding or whether it's signing a piece of paper. Mm-hmm. And they actually go after people who they think will not... I'm not saying this about the entire homosexual community, but there's a segment within the homosexual community that says, "Oh, there's somebody here that doesn't agree with our lifestyle. We've got to go force them.
We've got to put them on. We've got to make them conform to our beliefs."
And at the risk of sounding melodramatic, over the top, and conspiracy theorists and that sort of thing, this is the same thing that was happening in Europe that drove the Pilgrims to get on the Mayflower. Now, the Pilgrims are not being forced to endorse same-sex marriage, but they were being forced to do things that went against their religious conscience.
Yeah.
And so they came to America. And as a result, we have religious freedom built into our Constitution in the First Amendment.
Used to.
Until the courts got involved.
Yep.
So, Kim Davis, again, I probably would have resigned, but she didn't. She's standing her ground. And if you want to fight this battle, that's the way you do it. She's doing it the right way. This is exactly there have been several landmark decisions that have been made in the United States. It all began with somebody standing their ground and saying, I'm going to stand up for what I think is right, and we're going to see how the chips fall. And so I don't think that she's going to go down in history as the great Christian civil rights leader.
No.
But it is nice to see somebody stand for their convictions. And the problems that we have in the Christian community is that when we have a Kim Davis stand up, when we have a bakery in Oregon stand up, or a photographer in New Mexico stand up, a huge chunk of the Christian community goes, oh, no, I wouldn't have done that. I'm smarter than that. I'm more tolerant than that. I'm more open than that. And we tend to throw our own under the bus.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, unfortunately.
And so that is my Kim Davis rant that's been on my mind.
You've had a bunch of time behind the wheel to formulate that, huh?
I mean, Pat Robertson on the 700 Club says, well, she wasn't the hero we were looking for, but I guess you'll have to do. No, you don't get. I mean, what are you looking for, Pat?
Was he referencing her past?
I don't know. And what's offensive to me is how people go after her looks.